welcome back to my channel. So I wanted to do a bit of a different video today where I am recreating a video that was out, I'm going to say it was like last year at this time, but I wanted to do my own spin on it because I didn't want it to be just like a video that everybody else is doing. So I think I've put my own little spin on it. And it has to do with a concealer hack, as I'm sure you saw by the title. So if you're curious to see what products I used for this hack, then let's get into the video. So I did see this hack going around. I think it was about last year at this time, maybe a little bit sooner. And at the time I thought, you know what, being such a great YouTuber, I will, I'll get to it. And so here finally, like a year later, I am finally getting to this. And I originally had seen this on Reese's channel. So Reese does makeup. And also my friend Kimberly from Pretty Over 50, she also did this. And then I also saw one of my friends, Lisa from Lisa Monique Beauty. And I also saw Anisi J do it on her channel. So I will link all of their videos down below if you want to see what their version of it is. And I thought, how am I going to make this different and make it my own video? Because I don't want it to seem like I'm like copying everybody's video. And I want it to be something that's a little bit original. So I thought, you know what, I'm wondering if this hack, if it makes a difference what products you're using. I get the process, right? Is it the actual just process of what makes this so unique? Or are the type of products that you use, is that going to give you a different end result? So I had an epiphany and I thought, why don't I use one side as high-end products and the other side is going to be drugstore products. And we'll see if there's a difference in the results. So I thought that would just be interesting. And I'm curious, I actually have not even tried this hack. I don't know if this is going to work. I have no idea. So if you're familiar with the technique I'm talking about, it is you apply concealer like you normally would. You go in, instead of using powder right away, you use setting spray and apply the setting spray on top of the concealer, and then you set it with powder. So what it's supposed to do is not have any creasing underneath your eyes. Well, I always have creasing under my eyes from concealer. And I'm picking a concealer today. So I'm going to use the same concealer on both eyes because I think that there's too many variables with using different types of concealers. You can have like a really full coverage concealer and that's going to, sometimes that can make you look really cakey under the eye. You can have like a really hydrating concealer. And then you can have some like really lightweight concealer. So I think there's just too many variables with the concealer. So I thought I'll use the same concealer under both eyes, but I'm going to use two different setting sprays and two different powders on that. Okay, so I brought you in really super close and I just want to show you kind of what happens under my eyes. So as you can see, I've got fine lines happening under here. I've got crow's feet. I've got right underneath my eyes, I have very like fine lines under there, and that's where the creasing is going to happen for me. And there's a little bit of, I'm going to say a little bit of texture in the very corners of my eyes. And that's just due to aging. I'm getting all that little bit of texture in there. So I'm going to go in with concealer that really creases on me for whatever reason, whatever ingredients are in there. It's a concealer plus like an eye cream. And it just really creases on me. So I wanted to give this technique like a real run for its money. I'm going in with the L'Oreal True Match Concealer. And this is in the shade C12, so that is fair. Comes like a little squeezy tube. And what I'm going to do is put it on the back of my hand. And I'm just going to start off with a tiny little bit first, about that much. I'm going in with my Real Techniques concealer brush. This one I find it just has a really, not oily consistency, but I don't know what it is. It's a nice concealer. Like, don't get me wrong, it's a nice concealer. I don't know if it's because of it has hyaluronic acid in it, so I don't know if that's what the ingredient is that makes it do that. But I mean, you can kind of see that I'm very hydrated. I'm using my favorite eye cream. This is probably my most favorite eye cream. I'm not going to tell you which one it is yet because I'm going to have it in my favorites video that's going to be coming up for I think, end of June, beginning of July somewhere. I'm going to have that one out. And it's just like the best eye cream. So I am loving it. Hopefully you can see how like hydrated I look under the eye. It's amazing. So what I want to do is I'm just going to put the concealer right where I need it, which is right in here. That's where I have the darkest pigmentation. I don't know why I woke up yesterday morning and I had this burst blood vessel in my eye. I have no idea how I did that, but I was like, oh, that's nice. So just ignore that. And I'm going to put some on the end here. But I love this brush for applying the concealer. I try not to put it like right in the fine lines, like right under my eye, because like I said, that's where I get most of the creasing. And I just blend it in really well. It's a buildable formula. It doesn't give me, I'm not going to say it's like a full coverage. It's like more of like a light to medium coverage concealer. And then what I'm going to do is take my e.l.f. sponge and just kind of tap it in. I'm using the pointy end because that really kind of gets right into the eyes where I need it. So you can see, I mean, it does an okay job, I guess, with the darkness. Definitely, I mean, it has covered. I'm just looking in the viewfinder. I mean, you can see how dark I am here, and so it does a decent job. It just, I don't know, it's not my favorite concealer, so that's why I wanted to use this one. And it is hydrating. It'll keep me hydrated for most of the day. I usually don't set this concealer with any powder. So that's why this is going to be like a real challenge today with this technique to see how it works. I'm just going to quickly do this eye here. And just taking, I still have a little bit on the back of my hand. And I'm just going to work it in. Again, just where I need it. Okay, so both eyes now are done with the concealer. So now apparently this is where the magic happens. So we're going to go in. I think what I'll do is on this side, I'm going to put the high-end stuff, and this side will be the drugstore. So first you go in with the setting spray, which is different than what I usually do. I usually put my concealer on and then I do my powder. So what you're supposed to do is take the setting spray. So today I'm going to be using the Urban Decay, the All Nighter. It's like a cult favorite. I'm not going to spray it directly onto my eye. I'm going to put it on the back of my hand. So spray the back of your hand. And then you're supposed to take some off of there and tap it into your eye and get right underneath your eye where if you have creases, that's where you really need it to get it to. And you're supposed to tap it in until you feel it's getting dry, and you'll be able to feel when it's getting dry, which I can start feeling that now. Okay, so that's what it looks like on this side with the setting spray on. Then on this eye, I'm going to go in with my favorite drugstore setting spray, and that's the Maybelline, the Master Fix. Love this setting spray. Now I'm going to put it on this hand. Okay, so spray the back of your hand, and then I'm going to use my other finger and tap that in. I'm always using my ring finger because that's going to have the least amount of pressure on your eye. And tap it in until you feel that it's dry. So next we're going to go in with the powder. So the only high-end powder that I have is the Tatcha, the Silk Powder. I had this on my haul video and haven't used it yet, so I actually have no idea how this is going to perform. And it is a translucent powder, so I like always using translucent powder for myself personally. I just don't want like any additional color under my eyes, so that's why I usually gravitate towards like a translucent powder. And then I'm going to go in with my BK Beauty 108 brush. So this is the precision powder brush, and I'm going to use that to do under my eyes. And I'm just going to take just like a little bit that's in here, and I'm going to tap it off really well because I don't think you need a lot of powder. And I'm just going to lightly dust the powder under my eyes. And then on this eye, I'm going to go in with my favorite powder right now for like drugstore. And this is the CoverGirl Simply Ageless Instant Wrinkle Blurring Pressed Powder. Love this stuff. Now, well, you can I accidentally had a little accident with it. I was very sad when it dropped on the floor. I'm like, oh, I hate it when my stuff breaks. So this has a little compact underneath it, like it has one of those little sponges. But for the purposes of the video today, I want to use a brush because I used a brush on this side. So I want to use a brush on this side, and I guess what I'm trying to see is if a loose setting powder is going to be different than this pressed powder, because what the claim is on the pressed powder is it's a wrinkle blurring effect. So I'm just going to go in with my e.l.f. This is just like a powder brush. And again, tapping it on the brush, tap it off, and again, just lightly putting it underneath my eye and tapping it in. I'm really excited to see how this is going to work out. Because from when I watched some of the other videos, like you can see a difference in the creasing, and also it just looks really smooth underneath the eye. Okay, so that's both eyes done. Hopefully you can, I'm close enough that you guys can see that it does look very smooth under the eye. And at this point, I don't have any creasing. If I have creasing, it would start showing up right underneath my eyes by now. So not any creasing, and it's surprising actually because this concealer, like I said, does a lot of creasing on me. So far I'm impressed. I think it's doing we'll see. I mean, I've only just done it, but we'll see. So I'm going to quickly go off camera, do the rest of my makeup, and I'll come back and show you kind of what it looks like with all the makeup done. And we'll go from there. I am going to do a wear test on it. I want to do like a maybe 5-6 hour wear test and see how it's going to look by the end of the afternoon, and see if this really does work. So I'll see you in a bit. All right, so I'm back. My makeup is on. It's been about, I'm going to say about half an hour. I was dawdling a little bit. I was got sidetracked. So it's been about half an hour, 45 minutes since I went off camera. And I think for the most part, I mean, I did not put any foundation under my eye. I stopped right where, so I don't know if you can kind of see the foundation I have on today has a kind of a bit of a yellow undertone to it. So I just basically stopped it right there. I didn't go up into my eye area. I usually don't put foundation under my eyes. It's usually just concealer. And so I left where, it was about, I'm going to say right about here where the concealer and the powder and the setting spray is. But I can say that pleasantly surprised if I turn my light down a little bit so that it's not so harsh looking. But when I go like this, usually by now I would have creasing under my eye here. And I don't have any creasing under my eye. I didn't put a lot, like I didn't put what I usually do is eyeshadow under my eye. So I didn't put eyeshadow under my eye because I really wanted just to keep that untouched. And I put very minimal like mascara on my bottom lashes. I just put a tiny little bit. So I haven't touched under the eye at all. And I mean, you can kind of see how hydrated it looks. It looks very smooth. And like I said, like there is no creasing going on. So that is about an hour. So that's since I actually put all the products on my face. I'm going to say it's probably been about an hour because I was talking a little bit after I did the process. So what I'm going to do, it is 12. You can kind of see that. Hopefully it's 12:13. I am going to leave this on. I'll try and do a check-in at about maybe just after supper time. And I'll see what it's looking at. So that could be like 6 hours maybe. And we'll see how it looks. Like I said, I'm so far I'm impressed. I mean, is it going to take away totally my fine lines and stuff? No, it's not going to do that. The process is that it's not going to crease. And so far I have no creasing under there. Like where I usually, even my crow's feet, if you kind of look where my crow's feet usually are, right there and there, very minimal at this point. And even the fine lines under here, again, very minimal. It's really like smoothed out. And that's on both sides. Like I'm not seeing a difference between, because remember, this is the high end over here and this is the drugstore end. So I don't see any difference between the two, which, you know, I was curious to see is it the products you're using or not. And like we'll see how it looks after the wear test. And if there's no difference, then it doesn't matter what you're using. It's just the process. So I'll check in with you guys in a little bit. Okay, so we are back now. It is officially, we can see here, it has been about 7 hours since I last left you guys, I must say I am thoroughly impressed with this whole technique. Before we first get into like the actual breaking down of the process, can I just talk to you guys about how much I'm loving? I was just looking in the mirror here. I have my mirror here, and I was looking at my how the foundation looks right now. And I don't know if you remember my haul video, and I also did a video about it. Was also the Revolution, that glass skin primer. Oh my goodness, you guys, I am loving this. Look at how, hopefully you can see how dewy my skin looks and how glowy it looks. It is amazing. Like, this primer is amazing. And what I really like about it is when you look at the actual packaging, you only need like a little drop. Like when you put it on your finger, and I put like a little drop, and that does my whole face. This is gonna last me like a really, really, really long time. So I am loving this primer. I am, yeah, obsessed with this primer. Anyhow, let's get back into why we're here. So I was looking at, I've been using this is my 10 times mirror. You can see it's kind of magnified. And I was really trying to like scrutinize this whole look. And I mean, when you look at underneath my eyes, it is like still looking the same as when I left you guys. Like, seriously. Under here, yeah, I mean, you can see the little fine lines, and of course but my crow's feet are way better than they usually are. Like, usually by now my crow's feet, you can see them like really quite pronounced all in this area here. Like, you can definitely see them. But what this whole, the whole thing is you're trying to look to see how much your concealer is creasing. So if I go like this, I'm going to try and get really, really close. Don't be scared. But under here, there is no creasing. And like, I mean, by this time, I would have had to like definitely gone like this under my eyes and like really gotten rid of that extra little bit of concealer under my eyes. Like, there is no creasing at all. Like, I'm amazed. I really am amazed at how well this has worked. I'm blown away. I was a little bit of a, skeptic, because doing something for the first time. I mean, I've watched all these other channels do it, and, I was kind of like, okay, is this really going to work? And I'm blown away. So I think one of the most important things is just making sure, when I showed you using the setting spray, making sure you put it right up underneath your eye, so that you're getting right into those little creases. If you have them under your eye, you're getting right into those little creases. When you're doing the powder, just making sure that you're getting it right under the powder. And part of my, the whole video was also whether, it was going to be high-end or drugstore. And looking at both sides, this is the high-end and this was the drugstore side. I can't see a difference in either side of them. Like, I really have been scrutinizing both sides, and I cannot see a difference. So I'm going to say it probably doesn't matter what products you are actually using, whether it's, high-end, drugstore, and that goes also for the powder. So using the drugstore CoverGirl, and also the Tatcha, the silk powder. Obviously did not matter because they look exactly the same. Both the results are still the same, and yeah, I'm blown away. I think this is fantastic. So I will definitely be using this technique. Well, I don't know why I wouldn't use this technique all the time. I'm going to try and use it on some of my other concealers that are a bit drying. So I have a L'Oreal and CoverGirl. Both of those concealers that I have are a little bit on the dry side. So I'm now really curious to see how those would perform under this technique of using the setting spray and the powder. So yeah, I can't wait to do that. I may do that in a video. So I think that would be really interesting. This one was, not my favorite concealer. That's why I kind of wanted to use it. And it's a little bit on the, it's a hydrating concealer, but what I find with hydrating concealers is that those are the ones that usually do have a lot of creasing under my eye. So for it to perform the way it has, I'm blown away. I'm so impressed. So I can't wait to, like I said, can't wait to use it on some other concealers. So I hope you found this helpful. I'm shocked. I'm blown away that this really actually did work. And all those TikTok videos that they always show, it actually did work on it. Let me know down below if you guys have ever tried this technique and if it worked for you, if it didn't work for you, if you've used maybe different concealers, different setting sprays, that sort of thing. So just let me know in the comments below how your results turned out. And before you head out, I would love if you consider subscribing to my channel, and don't forget to hit that little notification bell, and that way you're notified whenever I upload a new video. And give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoy these type of videos, if you like comparison videos, that sort of thing. So always leave me a comment down below. I will have everything that I was wearing today, and also the products that I showed. I will have those all in the description box down below. So if you're ever wondering kind of what look I was doing, sometimes I know I have viewers in my comments ask me what I was wearing that day, and it's like, trying to remember what I actually was wearing that day is sometimes hard. So I've tried to make it a habit now of putting it down in the description box for you guys. And don't forget, you can always follow me over on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. I have all of those, again, down in the description box. That's all the links for those are down there. And as always, I hope everybody has a great week and a great life, and I will see you all very soon in my next video. Bye!